for being here for such an exciting announcement. I am joined today up at the lectern by our Lincoln Parks and Recreation Director, Maggie Stuckey-Ross, as well as the Lincoln City Council member extraordinaire, Benny Shobe, and Lower Platte South Natural Resources District Director, Mike Soshek. Thank you for being here. Cornhusker Bank Chairman, John Dittman, and Solidago Conservancy Executive Director, Nicole Fleck-Tews. We're also so pleased to have so many wonderful community leaders and supporters of our parks here today, including Lincoln Parks Foundation Executive Director Randy Gordon, Ted LaGrange from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, Mitch Renteria from U.S. Fish and Wildlife, as well as representatives from Pheasants Forever, and I believe District 2 County Commissioner Krista Yoakum is here, as well as Lincoln City Council members Sandra Washington and Tom Duden. Thank you so much to all of you for being here to show your support for this exciting new improvement to our community. In Lincoln, almost every home is just a stone's throw away from a public park or trail, and that is no accident. Our community is passionate about our public parks, knowing how they give all of us opportunities to come together to slide, swing, splash, play, picnic, and celebrate. Parks are the heartbeat of our community, and knowing how important they are to our quality of life, the City of Lincoln has long embraced a goal to ensure that everyone in our city lives within a 10-minute walk of one of our public parks. We are proud that according to the most recent Trust for Public Land Park Score Index, 89% of Lincoln residents live within a half mile of a public park. But we're not resting on those laurels. As our city grows, we must ensure that our parks system grows with it and continues to make Lincoln the quality of life capital of the country, which is why I'm so pleased to announce today that the City of Lincoln, together with our incredible partners, has acquired 154 acres of land, which will include our newest park, a gem that will sparkle here at the northwestern edge of our community. Many of our incredible partners who helped make this new crown jewel of a park possible are standing here with me. And the remarkable public-private partnerships that we forged to acquire this land, we owe a special thanks to someone who isn't here. And that person is Alice Dittman. Alice, this was one of her parting gifts to our community. She blazed a trail as our city's first female bank president during her leadership of Cornhusker Bank, and her interest in creating this park is why we're here. And to honor the catalytic philanthropy of Alice Dittman and Cornhusker Bank, the new park will be named Cornhusker Bank Park. In addition to Alice's son, John, who is here with us today, so is her other son, Doug Dittman, and his wife, Carla, and other friends from Cornhusker Bank. So I hope that we can all continue to show our appreciation to them and thank them for their remarkable generosity on behalf of our community. Through this new park, we will be stewarding both Alice's legacy and the land itself. This new park will do that by conserving unique landscapes for future generations, preserving critical natural habitat, supporting climate resiliency, and ensuring the vibrancy of our growing community. Now, a park of this scale requires a lot of vision, and all of the people you're going to hear from today will highlight the incredible collaboration and visionary thinking that went into making today's announcement a reality. Here to provide more details about Lincoln's newest park is Lincoln's Parks and Recreation Director, Maggie Stuckey-Ross. Director?
Thank you, Mayor. Long before Lincoln was founded, before the village of Lancaster existed, before the formation of the University of Nebraska, and before plows cut the prairie that we stand on here today, this was the ancestral home of the Ponca, Omaha, Winnebago, Dakota, and Oto peoples. We honor and respect their legacy today and in future with the thoughtful use of this land. For over 20 years, the Lincoln-Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan has identified the need for a community park to serve Northwest Lincoln. So the Parks Department has been watching and we've been waiting for the right opportunity to fulfill this need. Because as Lincoln grows, our department works to ensure that all residents have access to park amenities. After all, parks are the heart of equitable, healthy, and thriving communities. For several years, the parcel that we're standing on today was the dream. It was the dream site. We wanted it for our park because it's unique in so many ways. It's in the target region of Northwest Lincoln. It has access to a paved arterial street, and it's adjacent to current city utilities. And the site characteristics are very favorable for the development of an active park along with natural resource conservation and future trail connections. So when this parcel was finally available, we turned to Solidago Conservancy for assistance. You will hear from Nicole shortly about their vision for our community and how their work helps bring technical, legal, and philanthropic resources to the table. We knew their help would be critical in securing this land. As negotiations began, our partners at Lower Platte South NRD called. They had identified a need that they had for future facilities, which you will hear more about shortly, and wanted to know if potentially we could partner together, leveraging public resources for the creation of a multi-purpose campus that met all of our needs. And finally, our great colleagues at the Saline Wetlands Conservation Partnership visited the site. They quickly identified critical natural resources that could be protected, including 84 acres of floodplain and 23 acres of threatened eastern saline wetlands. And so the four partners, the city, Solidago, Lower Platte South, and the Saline Wetlands Partnership, set out to create a win-win-win-win scenario to secure the rights to this property. And today we're pleased to announce that we did it. As Mayor shared, this parcel is a total of 154 acres. It was purchased by Solidago from the private seller for $3 million. Solidago then subdivided the site into 3 parcels. 11 acres was purchased by the Lower Platte South NRD. 58 acres was purchased by the City of Lincoln for Cornhusker Bank Park. And 85 acres around the perimeter will be purchased by the City of Lincoln for conservation. So let's talk about the park. This park will be a community park, joining the 21 community parks already in our system. Community parks have a variety of uses and purposes, and like our other community parks, Cornhusker Bank Park will be unique. It will have active use areas like playfields. It will have an inclusive playground. Passive use areas like open green space and shaded corridors. Picnic tables and covered shelters for gatherings, off-street parking, connections to our award-winning trail system, and again, the preservation of this natural resource through the conservation of the acres around the perimeter. Our planning starts now. Over the next year, the Parks team will be working with the community to identify what amenities and features should be part of this park. After all, today, there are 8,673 residential units within this park's service area. That number will only continue to grow. We want to hear what our community wants. And in addition, our team will be working side by side with the NRD to ensure that our layout aligns with their vision and their plans. Thanks to Cornhusker Bank and the Dittman family, we will complete initial build-out of Cornhusker Bank Park by the end of 2025. Our department is dedicated to providing future generations with sustainable and enriching natural spaces to enjoy, to explore, and to play. It's been a pleasure to work alongside our partners on this project. We know it will be a model for future endeavors. Welcome to Cornhusker Bank Park.
This is so exciting. Thank you so much, Director Stuckey Ross, for your leadership and all you've done with your team at Parks to get us to this day. And I would just add that one of the things you didn't list was something that David Carey, our planning director, mentioned as we walked in, and that's like, this place has nice view sheds.
Yes.
View sheds. That's a thing. All right, well, the City of Lincoln and the Lower Platte South Natural Resources District have a long and strong history of working together on natural resources conservation and management. We look forward to continuing that important work together here at Cornhusker Bank Park. And here to provide more details about the Lower Platte South NRD's vision for the park is its General Manager, Mike Soshek. Mike?
Good morning. Thank you for everyone joining us today. I'd first like to thank the City of Lincoln for extending this invitation. It is truly an honor to come together once more to strengthen our partnership. The Lower Platte South Natural Resource District values this collaboration, which truly represents the power of working together towards a common goal, enhancing the quality of life for the people we serve. The mission of the Lower Platte South is to maintain a sustainable environment through the conservation of land, water, and wildlife. This endeavor of a shared property encapsulates not only conservation efforts by both entities, but also provides recreation and educational opportunities for the public. Further, this project marks a significant milestone in our collective mission and represents years of dedicated work between the Lower Platte South NRD, the City of Lincoln, Lincoln Parks Foundation, and numerous other partners. By working together, we can achieve a balance between development and conservation, ensuring that Lincoln remains a vibrant and environmentally conscious city. To that end, proximity to I-180 and the Saline Corridor not only benefits NRD staff coordination, but also enhances visitors' ease of access. Improved accessibility will attract more volunteers, more educators, and conservation partners, fostering greater community involvement and support for our conservation efforts. These efforts would not be possible without the Saline Wetlands Conservation Partnership, which includes Pheasants Forever, Nebraska Game and Parks, Lincoln Parks and Rec, City of Lincoln, and the NRD. Through this multi-agency effort, the partnership has secured approximately 2,000 acres of habitat, including these saline wetlands. This accomplishment not only stands as a beacon of success across the Midwest, but also plays a critical role in the restoration and protection of threatened and endangered plants and wildlife. This property will contribute to enhancing habitat connectivity and resilience, while also offering the public a valuable opportunity to enjoy and appreciate these natural areas. This property, in addition to its conservation value, it presents an opportunity to establish a larger and more versatile facility that can accommodate our growing programs and initiatives. The new location will provide ample space for habitat restoration projects, environmental education workshops, and community outreach events. By co-locating with the City of Lincoln, we can also provide the public with increased access to green spaces while preserving natural habitats. Looking ahead, we envision a future of continued partnerships which can lead to greater environmental stewardship and community engagement. Thank you once again to Mayor Gaylor Baird and the City of Lincoln for your efforts in providing this opportunity to achieve a shared vision.
Thank you, Mike, and for your leadership in the NRD. We so value our partnership. Now I'd like to invite up Cornhusker Bank Executive Chairman and Alice Dittman's son, John Dittman, to share more about his family's story, his bank's gift to our community. John?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Well, good morning. My name is John Dittman, representing Cornhusker Bank. And Cornhusker Bank is very honored to be a part of this special place. And I hope all of you have a little time after this press conference to be able to walk around this property, because it really is unique with its wooded areas, with the flat areas, which are going to be the park, which the saline wetlands, which are very unique and only in 2 counties in the state of Nebraska. This really is a very special place. Well, Cornhusker Bank was founded in 1903, 120 years ago, in Davie, Nebraska, which is in northern Lancaster County. And we moved to Lincoln in 1960, in particular into northwest Lincoln, where we have a significant presence today. And we are thankful for our valued customers, and we want to give back to this wonderful community, and in particular to northwest Lincoln, which gave us our start here in Lincoln. This project started several years ago for us when we met with Lynn Johnson at Lincoln Parks and Recreation, and now it has begun, and it's so exciting to be a part of this. I would like to take the opportunity to thank some of the very great people who have made this incredible project possible, including the Parrott and Brislin families who have owned this ground and lovingly cared for it for many years. You'll see when you walk around this property how well they have maintained it, and they've done a wonderful job, and now it's going to be enjoyed by so many people. To Mayor Leary and Gaylor Baird, the Mayor of Lincoln, and for her leadership. Obviously to Maggie Stuckey Ross and her predecessor, Lynn Johnson, both directors of Lincoln Parks and Recreation, and the wonderful job that they are doing in our city, and in particular today as we celebrate our parks. To Mike Sushek, General Manager of the Lower Platte South Natural Resources District, and the amazing work that they are doing in terms of the many things that they do with land management and water management, education, and this is going to be a fantastic location for them to showcase that. And I'm so excited to see what they do out here. And last but not least, to Nicole Fleck-Tews, the director of Solidago Conservancy, who in partnership with the Lincoln Parks Foundation has done a great work in the acquisition of land and easements in our community so that people can enjoy these very special places. Well, finally, it'll be exciting to see the development of this property in the years ahead, and its conservation of 86 acres of grasslands and saline wetlands, its 58 acres of active parkland, and 11 acres as the new Lower Platte South NRD headquarters site. Our hope and prayer is that this special place is a blessing for all who wish to learn about and explore the great outdoors, to play and exercise, compete athletically, gather socially, and those who will be working here. It's a great privilege for us to be a part of this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Alice. Thank you to the Dittman family and to Cornhusker Bank. This is a really remarkable moment and the culmination, as you can tell, of so many people's efforts and so much incredible generosity. As policymakers and stewards of public funds, the leaders on our Lincoln City Council are essential to the success of our public parks. And I'd now like to invite up Lincoln City Council member Benny Shope, who's here with us today to offer some remarks about what excites him about this new acquisition, our community's newest park. Councilmember Shope?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hi, everybody. I'll be brief, and I thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to speak on behalf of Parks and for the Lincoln City Council. As a member of the Lincoln City Council, I am proud of how Lincoln excels in building community partnerships. You guys heard that a lot, partnerships, which serve to enrich the lives of our residents. This new park will help ensure that as we grow, as our community grows, we are integrating green spaces that will enhance everyone's quality of life. Cornhusker Bank Park will be a gem in Northwest Lincoln and our entire community. On this very parcel of land, families, individuals, and children will create memories that will last a lifetime. It is so important to ensure that our park spaces keep pace with our community's growth. And this park space will ensure that happens. I'm excited for Northwest Lincoln and for our entire community. I want to thank the mayor again and for her leadership on this project. I also want to thank the city partners, again, partners, including Lower Platte South NRD, Cornhusker Bank, and Solidago. I'm terrified I was going to mispronounce that. Conservancy. Thank you all for joining us, and Mayor, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Councilmember Shope. And last but not least, Solidago Conservancy. Solidago is affiliated with the Lincoln Parks Foundation, and it works with landowners and other partners to conserve natural areas, protect green spaces, and maybe most important of all, to connect people to the land. This organization has played a pivotal role in nurturing the creation of this park, and here to share more about their mission is our very dedicated former City of Lincoln colleague and now Solidago Conservancy Executive Director, Nicole Fleck-Tews. Nicole, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, it's not every day that we have a chance to protect special places like this. It might be once in a generation or more that an opportunity comes along for the perfect site for a community park and protection of incredibly unique resources at the same time. This area is part of a network, really, of greenways in Lincoln and Lancaster County that connects our parks and our trails and protects flood storage. And in fact, it's a network that extends all the way out to Wilderness Park on the south side of town and to the Prairie Corridor and Haynes Branch on the southwest side of town. And as Lincoln continues to grow, access to green spaces cannot be left to chance. That's why Solidago Conservancy was formed, to help build on years of collaborative work to conserve and connect special places like this. Solidago's role is to be a nimble organization who can help bring together partners, you've heard a lot about partners, put together funding packages, and assist with real estate transactions to take quick action. And this site, wow, the opportunity for a Parks and Natural Resources campus right on the edge of a growing city, and as you've heard many others say, it really checks all the boxes. Accessible, big open spaces for families to enjoy all the amazing park amenities that Maggie described. An opportunity to co-locate with Lower Platte South Natural Resources District, making connections to Lincoln's 183 miles of trails. But the icing on the cake is the conservation of 21 acres of Nebraska's eastern saline wetlands, with the potential to restore more than 20 additional acres. This is an incredibly unique resource. Let me put this in perspective for you, and I think John mentioned it, but Lancaster County and Saunders County to the north are the only places these wetlands exist in the entire world. And here along the Little Salt Creek corridor, we're building on more than 20 years of work by the Saline Wetlands Conservation Partnership to connect and conserve these critical habitat areas. These interconnected green spaces really help our growing community thrive. And innovative partnerships like the one we're talking about today are truly critical for our conservation work. They help us leverage public funds to meet so many shared goals for the community. We're working together with generous partners like Cornhusker Bank and the Dittman family and many others to create a lasting legacy to protect these special places for future generations. It's really been a privilege, Mayor, to work with you and all the other partners on this remarkable project, and we are so excited for all this brings to the community.
Well, thank you so much, Nicole, and thanks to the generous support of our public and private partners. Cornhusker Bank Park will enhance the natural environment and quality of life for our friends and neighbors in Northwest Lincoln, and as Councilman Chobe mentioned, for everyone in our community for generations to come. This new park will add to the green tapestry of Lincoln's parks and advance our goal to become the quality of life capital of the country. With that, we would be so happy to take any questions you may have about this gem.
I'd like to ask,
Yes.
somebody else, go ahead. Is there somebody
Yep.
behind me or is
No,
that
please,
me?
Margaret.
Mr. Dittman, I'm wondering if I could, if you could tell me exactly what your contribution is and tell me a little bit about why this was important to your mother.
You know, and my mother did come out here because we've, as I mentioned, we had a discussion over, it was over several years that this came together. So we talked about it and she was very pleased to see this. And so I know she would be very happy if she were here today. So, yeah.
Parks in particular important?
Yes. Yes, I think she would have felt that parks were extremely important and she was so pleased that it would be in Northwest Lincoln. Thank you.
Mike.
This is for you. Are you keeping the barn?
Doug wants
Currently, we're looking at options for the barn to maybe establish an education component into it. But until we look at that foundation a little further, it's not going anywhere right now. I'll leave it at that.
I have a question for Mike. So I heard somebody say this is going to be your new headquarters. Can you expound a little bit on
Well,
that?
yeah, discussion with the board. We've outgrown our current location. And so we have 30 full-time employees, probably about 15 part-time, and we're running out of space. So we were looking at options for our maintenance facility, looking at options for our office, and this opportunity came in front of us with the city of Lincoln, and we saw this is something we need to invest in. It's a perfect match for everything we do, and I think we would be great partners, great neighbors to the city of Lincoln and what they're trying to get accomplished. And so, yes, We don't have any concrete plans of when we're going to build, but it is in the works. We're having those discussions, and we're in the planning phase right now.
And can somebody address what public dollars are going into this?
Yeah, sure. So yes, this is a innovative public-private partnership, braided funding. We had a lot of folks at the table. The Cornhusker Bank Dittman Family Gift was $1 million. Our partners at U.S. Fish and Wildlife have awarded a grant to help us with the conservation parcel, and that amount is $870,758. The NRD has contributed $600,000. The Saline Wetlands Conservation Partnership contributed $111,767. And the City of Lincoln came in with some advanced land acquisition dollars in the amount of $487,485. The rest was additional private philanthropy that Solidago Conservancy amassed for us to make up the difference. So again, that purchase price was $3 million. A lot of folks at the table, and we're so excited. We honestly could not have done this without partners. It just was out of reach. But with everyone at the table, the dream came true.
How did this piece of land come into how'd you find it? What happened? How'd you get your eye on it?
Do you want to answer this, Solidago?
Happy to. Well, when we first started talking with John and the Dittman family about the interest in a Northwest Community Park, and of course we've had this, as Maggie said, in the comprehensive plan for a number of years, trying to identify a really great location. We started looking at, I got the butterfly? Okay.
It's fine.
It's the butterfly best blessing.
We started looking at a site where we had hoped, because we knew in Northwest Lincoln we had the Saline Wetland Corridor, and we really hoped that we could achieve what we've done today, which is to identify a site that would work great for both active recreation but also have that conservation element. And so we looked at a number of sites along the corridor that were near to the City of Lincoln, and we had an opportunity with this one, and it was really the perfect site.
Put it up for sale, or did you approach the family?
We did approach the family, yeah.
Mayor's
You
getting
got him.
I love nature. Just don't want to get stung by it. Any other questions? Yes.
So, can you expand on the quarter aspect of it? So, like, where does it start and kind of where does it end, and what are you going to be doing to restore the wetlands?
I can start on that, and then maybe for some of the restoration, I might invite someone up from Game and Parks to talk a little bit about that further. But the corridor stretches all the way up from even lower than this location, the confluence of Little Salt Creek. Little Salt Creek corridor is just over there to the west and stretches up past Waverly Road, several miles continuing up to the north. And so this all is a corridor that's been protected, as we talked about, by the Saline Wetland Partnership for a number of years. And so we are starting to connect these pieces up to connect this habitat up together. And then ultimately, part of what's hard to convey without a map is that this ties into the whole network of greenways within the community. And ultimately the hope is you can walk, you can hop on a bike, and you can ultimately get to all these areas that are really closer by than people think. So that's the vision. It will continue up north and connect ultimately with all of those other places that have been conserved.
And I might jump in just to give you the lay of the land. Throughout the property, you're going to see posts. Some of them have pool noodles on them, and they are marking the different parcels that have been created. But generally speaking, the park will be located where you see the corn. The NRD parcel is generally the original homestead site that we're on from here up to Arbor Road. And then around the exterior, kind of the necklace around the property, the wooded area, and then over to Little Salt Creek is the conservation parcel. So you'll enter the park off of Arbor Road. You'll also enter the NRD site off of Arbor Road.
Will there be trails to go through in the wetlands?
Yes, all of our wetland properties, we encourage people to come out. It's a great place to bird watch, to see wildlife, and they're all accessible and open. Just north of here is the Frank Shoemaker Marsh. Across the way is Arbor Lake. We want the community to be out here and enjoying it, and this will be no different.
Any other questions?
When do you expect it to be open?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the initial build out, which will be a parking lot and trails for people to get out and into the park space, will be open by the end of 2025. And we are starting the planning process now for further park development. It will be contingent on additional philanthropy likely and city dollars as well. So we're excited to hear what sort of amenities people want. There's a lot of options, a lot of things we could do, and obviously that changes the budget we'll be looking at. But we're really excited and really appreciate Cornhusker Bank's help in making it open and accessible here very soon.
Last question I think I have. Do you think having a community park here so close to the conservation area will affect the conservation efforts with pollution and other things? Because, you know, kids are messy sometimes and they leave trash behind.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, you know, we are excited to be co-located. I think you're not going to feel like it's two different parcels. It's going to be really woven together. Of course, we're going to have some buffer areas for those really protected areas, but we want the community to love and appreciate and experience these spaces like our teams and our partners do. So no, that's not something we've experienced, and we're excited to welcome the public into this really special space.
That are connected to wetlands or protected areas now, or this are first?
Yeah, absolutely. As Nicole said, most of our parks and trails in Lincoln are built along those stream corridors and those wetland areas. Wilderness Park comes to mind right away. I mean, floodplain, a great use for floodplain is active park, and so we take advantage of that. It is over 1,000 acres. I can get you that number. It's much larger.
And I think it was alluded to earlier, though, that in a way this park helps tell the story of our community. The earliest peoples who came to this area came for the salt. They came to cure their meats. And later, pioneers came and settled here, taking advantage of that natural resources. And today, we can tell that story and continue to educate young people about the roots of this community, the roots of our history, and invite them to be a part of perpetuating that story and our identity. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you all so much for everything you've done to get us to this day. We are so excited to kick off Cornhusker Bank Park and to be back in 2025 to cut a ribbon maybe and invite you all to hop on a trail with us. Thank you.